Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Lynn Carey and I am back with you today. I just wanted to talk about my journey and why I decided to leave the medical world over 20 years ago. And it was a process probably of 10 years leading up to that point. And I feel so passionately about it. And I wanted to share my story to help people to navigate a different way. So, to remove the fear, because I can't imagine living your life afraid that you could just get a disease. And then I'm not even talking about what happens today. Today, what's happening today is the icing on the cake for me, because I felt this way before. And I would feel bad for people thinking, oh, what if I get diagnosed with cancer? Oh, what if I have an autoimmune disease? Oh, and I'm thinking, and I guess I lived that a little bit because my father got diagnosed when I was 11 and he died within 9 months when I just turned 12. And I watched him get diagnosed and the medical people did surgeries and filled him with poisons for cancer and never helped him change his lifestyle, never helped him with the emotions and traumas he was going through because he had a lot of failed businesses and money problems and then was working at a job he hated. And I don't think he had anybody to confide in. As an adult, I understood this. And I just thought, gosh, it's like a death sentence when people go to the doctor and are told that they get a diagnosis. And I didn't live in fear over that because I actually had a friend whose mother died of cancer when she was young. And we both, as adults, were growing, had kids. Our kids were young at the time. And she said to me, oh, my greatest fear is leaving my child and getting diagnosed with cancer, like my mother. And I never had those thoughts. I never had fear about getting diagnosed like my father and dying like him. In fact, I was so depressed as a kid of what I was being shown life that I wished he took me with him. That's, was the most upsetting thing for me. I hated going to school every day. I saw my mom working 2 jobs. I saw that we were comfortable, but it always felt like the next shoe was going to drop. Like I always had to worry about what was next. It just felt like struggle. There was no fun. There was no joy. And I didn't want to be here. I thought my father left me in hell on earth. Then I know because of that trauma, and I don't think I ever got out of that grief for him. And like I said, more about the sadness that I was still here and he was enjoying heaven. I thought, why did he leave me here? And then I got diagnosed with scoliosis, which is the curvature of the spine. And the medical people, after this is putting a couple-year journey into 2 seconds here. I ended up having spinal surgery on it, and I would have never, ever did that if I knew what I knew today. And they tried to fuse my spine. Fast forward later, after 5 years after they did the surgery, and I was sick all the time, and they never pinpointed it. They would never admit that it was because of my surgery. In fact, I don't even think they can't even connect those dots because the medical profession doesn't understand healing. They understand crisis care. They understand how to cut something out or give you a drug, and that's it. And I used to think that was weird, but now understanding what's happening today, that there's a satanic evil cult that's been running our world for the last 150 years or more. And the Rockefellers started our healthcare system. They took it over and took real healing out of medical schools and made it about big pharma. So it's just been a programming and a programming and a programming. But if you just critically think for a second, why would I put these poisons in? If I was healthy, I wouldn't put these poisons in me. So why, if I'm sick, would I put these poisons in me? It's almost amazing that any of us survive any of these medical treatments and things that are done to us and these diagnoses. So after 5 years of having a surgery that I didn't need, pain and sickness all the time, different drugs that didn't work, and then they just left me because I kept asking, why do I keep getting sick? And nobody had an answer. Different doctors, They didn't have an answer for me. And I'm like, these people don't know what's wrong with me. And then I found the chiropractic truth, the first truth, finally, something that made sense in my life, that the power that made the body heals the body. And it wasn't a quick fix, because you know why? Not only did I get the body work done to break up the energy in my body, and that was after them trying to fuse my spine. So I had to break up all that crap. And healing doesn't just happen like quick fix. Sometimes you feel a lot worse before you get better. But people are afraid to go through the darkness. They just want to keep medicating themselves so they don't feel anything. But you have to feel stuff to heal. And then when I really cleared this, something clicked. When I started understanding how the body is always making itself new. Your body's always in motion, right? So the power that made the body heals the body. What's the difference between you and a dead body? There's a life force running inside of you. So this life force, this energy is running over your brain, your spinal cord, through your nervous system to every part of your body, and billions of functions are happening every millisecond of the day that your conscious state can't even comprehend, let alone control. So there's a flow, and it's always flowing towards bettering itself unless the flow gets blocked. And what blocks that flow? Fear, being told it can't, programming, being told you got to go to somebody else so they can tell you what's wrong with you. And I am so clear about this because of the fear. Once you wake up from that and you realize anything can heal, and whatever label they gave you is another auto-suggestion that your body starts to create those disease cells too. I believe anything can heal. We have to get rid of the labels. That's why we're in trouble today. We're worried about labels of dis-ease in our body. Doesn't make any sense. We're worried about labels of political parties instead of looking at what's good and evil. We're looking at labels of religions instead of knowing that we're all God and we're all one source and we're all here to live our best life and create heaven on earth. The labels are getting us in trouble. Stop going to get a test for something. I just don't agree. Now, I cannot stop somebody's fear. And it's funny, when I tell somebody I would never go and get diagnosed with the cancer in the first place, I would never go to those people to tell me, because I'm not going to do what they say. And I don't need their auto-suggestion that I have something wrong. I know I'm always clearing myself. I'm always clearing myself mentally, energetically. I know when I'm down. I know when I need to relax. I don't even get sick. I never speak of sickness because it's just my body. If I'm feeling off, I know how to recenter myself to bring myself back to balance. I'm constantly working on creating my best life and finding joy and happiness in my life. I'm constantly choosing things that are non-toxic for my body. Things that I use daily. I'm not going to put poisons on my skin or in my body. I'm using, clean products. I'm filtering my water. I'm filtering my mind from toxic people around me too, and from toxic talk. So I'm always working on myself. So I'm always keeping that flow. And I've reached higher and higher in states of vibration. And I went there drastically and then came back down. And then I knew gradually how to bring myself up to live in a high frequency the majority of the time. And even when I'm off, it doesn't even stress me out because I know I'll bring myself back to balance. I know how to create my best reality. I have control of my body and my health. And now I never thought, I heard of programming. I knew, I would tell people when I first opened my practice, I would try to tell them this philosophy, and I'm like, these people don't want to know. This is weird to me, but I'm like, they have to go through their own process where they learn to trust their own body. I get that. I honor that. But what I see, and I kind of had to walk away from telling people, I have a conversation with people and they'd say, oh, I went to the doctor and I got this, and this, or I have to go, I got this, I have a cold, I got to go take this medication. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm sorry for you. I wouldn't do any of that. Or if I hear that they're going to the doctor, I'm like, I hope you make it out of there alive. Or I hope they don't make it, then they're starting treatments and all this stuff. I'm like, I hope you survive all that. I don't say that, but in my head, I'm thinking that. And to see what's going on with this pandemic, it's unbelievable. It's the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. That people think masks keep you healthy. That we're sanitizing our hands 1,000 times over and over. That messes up your bacteria flora. I always knew that. I'm like, hand sanitizers are the worst thing ever. First of all, it's a poison that you're putting on your skin, making you sicker. All these things weaken our immune system. But then people are freaking out that I don't want to wear a mask. They're telling me I'm a danger to somebody else. I mean, I've had friends that I thought were rational people unfriend me on Facebook or stop talking to me because I was trying to save people, to, hey, there's nothing to worry about here. They were angry. They were like, oh, I'm doing this for my grandmother, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, now I'm a threat to somebody's health. I've spent my life trying to enlighten people about their health. And, I've seen chiropractors. I'm not going to say it's a good versus evil within everybody. Like, you're either blue pilled or red pilled. Because even I have chiropractic friends that I thought were true chiropractors get out and start practicing. And in my mind, they were compromising their principles. So you can have a medical friend who's buying into the narrative. They're not awakened yet. I choose not to live in a disease world, and it's been working for me great. My son too. We're never sick. We live an amazing life. And I'm sorry for you who don't have control of your health and you want to live in fear, but that's an excuse. People like their disease labels because they can hide from their life. They don't have to deal with their relationship. They get the attention they finally need. They don't have to deal with their job. They get on disability. There's a lot of ways to play victim instead of taking control of your life. I'm not saying that's the case with everybody, because sometimes you might get a diagnosis and that may be your blessing to wake up to the power within you, right? I've had a lot of dramas and traumas and crap in my life that made me a better person. And I'm grateful for all of them. So all of them are gifts for you to become your best self. But we just have to start looking at, we got to start rewiring how we speak about our bodies and our health, how they heal. And I just thought, like I said, people had to have their own awakening, and people like to make excuses. But I realized it's a severe programming going on in the world, and I'll do my best. I'll spend my life. I will always speak up. I stopped speaking up a lot unless people asked me, because I got tired of talking to people about, it's all their mindset. I don't live in that fear anymore. It's gone. I can't make you feel that way. But I also don't admire when someone doesn't do the work on themselves to get to that point and you stay in victim mode. That's sad to me. And I also feel like when all those people who don't want to do the work on themselves, that's why we're in this situation right now. Because if everybody was doing the work on themselves, you would not see one mask on any face in this world. So when I see people wearing those masks, living in fear and pushing it on other people, you're hiding from your life and your own issues. And that's not fair, because I did the work on myself. Now you're putting your toxic crap on me, and it's wrong. So, it's funny. I even watched a movie recently, and it was about a girl. It was based on a true story, and it was based on a girl who the doctor told her she needed a liver transplant, had to find a living donor. And yet throughout the movie, she was drinking eggnog, cookies, stuff that continuously. I can't even imagine if you had a diseased liver, how you would process those things. But I thought, somebody can live with half a liver to donate to somebody else. Why didn't the doctor ever tell her to go on a detox, clean out her liver so it can work better? And then everybody had to raise money for her, and everybody was sad for her and felt bad. This is what we live in. You get attention when you have a disease, and we all, clamor together because isn't it a shame? I don't think we should live like that anymore. How about we forget those labels and start working on becoming our best self? I can't believe there was this whole movie around this girl getting a liver transplant when all she had to do was detox herself. Like, there was no thought of that the liver will regenerate. If it can regenerate somebody else's liver, and your liver can, the person who donated part of their liver can regenerate back, why can't that liver just make itself healthy again? This is how far we've gone. And I know that movie is more, people would understand that movie thinking more than what I'm saying right now. And maybe there's a shift happening now. But I've lived for the last 20 years in a different world than everybody's sickness world, And it's very empowering. I'm healthier than I've ever been. And I want to share that with you. I want to give other people the power to take your life back, because life can be so much better than what you're accepting if you're not doing that. You might be afraid to go to the pain or the darkness or what you're afraid to face, but if you allow yourself to face those demons, oh my gosh, the best life is waiting for you. Higher vibrations, and that darkness won't take you down. So just some food for thought today. I'm trying to put some positive, high energy, empowering words into the universe. Hope you're all having a great day.